welcome to My Counselor Online. I'm Tori, and today I'm sitting down with one of our counselors here, Lacey Wallace. Lacey, I want to start by just asking about your journey. What is your story as a counselor?
So, it's kind of lengthy as far as like my timeline goes. My husband and I, we got married really young and moved into like the ministry really quickly as far as working in the church and working with youth. And so like my journey to where I'm at kind of started within the church and started as I was working with youth or as I was working within the church. I just kept noticing that I would be used more in like the one-on-one, one-on-one with kids or like with adults or with couples. And so I switched my major in my undergrad from education to psychology as I recognized just, how God was using me and how I wanted to kind of further that. And so then after I graduated with my bachelor's, it took me a little while to like build up the nerve to move forward with my master's, but all the while sitting with couples and individuals in the pastoral role. And then after I went back to grad school, because what I felt was I just didn't have the tools that I wanted. Like I needed more information, I needed more education, I needed more to be able to be helpful to the people within our congregation, the people in the community that I wanted to help. And so that's what led me to go back to grad school. And so after grad school, I started working at MyCounselor.Online, just kind of straight out the gate. And it has been, this journey of, just what God would have for me. And so I'm older than some of the counselors coming straight out of grad school into the field. And so a lot of it is just, my journey, like within my marriage and with my family that helps, like as I work with clients. And so, but it is just like sitting with people and individuals that, from the pastoral part, just increase moving into, being able to work, professionally with them.
Yeah. Well, we love having you on the team at My Counselor Online. And obviously, you just have a lot of experience with ministry and the church and pastoral roles and leadership. And I would just love to know the clients that you typically thrive working alongside. Are you seeing a lot of individuals, a lot of couples? What clients are you typically seeing?
Yeah, probably the majority of my clients are couples. So I really love working within the marriage. And so I do see a lot of couples. Recently have just almost completed my certification in Christian sex therapy. So sitting down and working with a lot of sexual issues with couples is really something that I have found very rewarding. If you would have asked me or told me 10 years ago that I would be focused on sex therapy in my field, I would be like, you're crazy. That is not something that's comfortable for me. I do not want to do that. But honestly, the more I get into it, the more like rewarding and fulfilling that it is to be able to help couples, especially couples within the church, to be able to have a safe place to talk about those kinds of issues. And so, but I do work with individuals in like, trauma or situations, things like that. And I enjoy that as well.
Yeah. But all of those things, so important. I think of sex therapy and how rare it is to see it talked about, honestly, in the church, and how it should be talked about a lot more. And just how important it is to have someone with such broad ministry experience be so open with couples and really work through the hard things, the heavy things having to do with sex. So that is super awesome. So tell me what people can expect, what couples, individuals can expect when they come into a session with you, Lacey.
Yeah. So every first session with me, I think it is really important that my couples get to know me just a little bit in that first session. It is uncomfortable and awkward to sit down and, it be a stranger that they just kind of start to spill their life story to. And so I always take the first few minutes of a session to just really kind of tell my clients or my couples just a little bit about me, allow them to ask questions, and what I tell them is that, I operate out of three parts. they're going to get that biblical foundation that I have that is so strong and so important to me. They're going to get my knowledge, within the field, the experience that I've had, working with clients, the education that I've gained, but they're also going to get my life experience. And so I feel like if we have walked through something, or if we've been through something that could be helpful to somebody else, then our journey could be their guide through something. And so it is a little different. I think that's the pastoral side of me kind of coming out in my work. I think it's really important. So I just tell them, if I share a personal story with me, then I would just ask for the same amount of confidentiality in that. So I kind of just give them that awareness, but that I draw from those three parts equally. Because who I am as a therapist is, I don't check that at the door. Like who I am as a person, I don't check that at the door. And so that's a huge part of how I practice. And I've just realized that with my clients, it just sets them at ease, because the relationship that I forge with my couples or with my individuals is a huge part of the healing process. Their ability to know me and begin to trust me is a huge part of that process. And so I like for my clients to be able to know me. And so that's kind of what they're going to expect, at least in those first few sessions. And then throughout, just, the ability to, we are a team. We are in relationship at that point, and, working towards our goals.